All right, so thanks for joining, and I hope you guys are doing well today. So this is a flow class, all levels. This week I'm working with the theme of awakening, right? So with that comes awareness. So this week it's all about awareness, how you move on your mat. So connecting mind, body, breath, because there's no separation, right, in yoga. You can't just step on your mat and not be aware of your breath or how you're moving your body. So with that being said, we're gonna be moving a little bit more on the slower side, but we're going to be focusing really on feeling the sensations, what the body's telling us. And believe it or not, this is actually way more challenging, right? So when you're like, okay, you have to sit with the pose, be with yourself and be like, okay, this, it's uncomfortable. So just trying to observe whatever it's coming up for you and using your breath, right? The breath is the foundation. The breath is your gas, what keeps you going. So yes, let's do this. We're gonna start on our backs today. So you can come down to your back and hug your knees into the chest. Start to rock a little bit from side to side. You can even rock back and forth the length of your spine. You can start to draw circles with your knees to one direction and then reverse. Okay, and then I want you to hug your right knee into the chest, extend your left leg up towards the ceiling. So lots of energy through the feet, so flex both feet here. Just take one more breath. Hug that knee in, create a little compression into the hip joint. Now slowly, mindfully start to lower your left leg towards the floor. If this is too intense in front of that left hip, you can bend your knee and plant your foot on the floor. So see where you are today. Now take a half happy baby here. So you're getting right away into the hips, right? Into our foundation, which is the feet, the legs, the hips. So try to keep your hips squared, so both hip points facing the ceiling, flex through the foot, and take this half happy baby here. Take another breath in through the nose. As you exhale, draw your right knee a little bit more towards the floor. Now slowly raise your left leg once again and cross your right ankle on top of your left leg, taking a figure four, so a reclined pigeon pose. Remember, you always have options. You can always bend your left knee if this is too much, but this is a great way for you to get right away into the hamstring as well. So breathing into the left hamstring. Press your right knee away from your face. Draw your left leg a little bit closer to you. Take one more breath here. Stay for your exhale. Now you're gonna just cross your right leg over the left. If you can, hook your foot behind, and you're gonna shift your hips to the right to let the knees fall to the left. So we're taking a supine twist here, threading the legs. You can uncross the legs and you can just bend the knees and let the knees fall to the left. Now start to bring awareness to the right side of your body. Breathe into the rib cage. Allow the shoulders to relax. It's okay if the shoulders are not touching the floor. One more mindful breath here. Slowly with control come back to center. Bring the hips in line with the shoulders and then hug the knees in once again. If you need a little bit of movement, go ahead. You can move from side to side or back and forth. And then you're gonna hug your left knee into the chest, raise your right leg to the sky, flex the toes, find those yogi toes, and then mindfully start to lower your right leg to the floor. Remember that less is more sometimes, friends, so if you're feeling too much in front of your right hip here, just bend your knee. Now find that half happy baby on the left side. Think as if you're pressing the ceiling away from you, and at the same time you're drawing your left knee down towards the floor. Stay present here and start to deepen the breath a little bit more if you can. Add texture, volume to each inhale, and pay attention to the length of your exhales. Inhale, slowly raise your right leg. Stack your left ankle on top of your right leg. Lace the fingers. Again, if you feel the need to bring the shoulders off the ground to lace the fingers, I'd rather you bend your knee or even take your foot down to the ground. Breathe into that left outer hip, the back of your right leg. One more inhale. Stay for your exhale. Now start to slowly slide that left leg over the right. You may need to shift your hips a couple inches to the left and let the legs fall to the right. You may hear a little cracking here. Notice the spine, sensations. Use each breath to create a little bit more space, each exhale to allow you to relax a little bit more into the shape. Final one, breathe in, filling up the lungs to capacity. As you breathe out, soften a bit more. Slowly come back to center, uncross the legs. This time you're gonna find a full happy baby here. Again, stay as active as possible in this shape and draw your knees down, press the feet up, breathe deeply, notice where you're feeling sensations. Maybe where you're resisting the stretch. And then slowly release. Hug your knees in. Start to rock back and forth the length of your spine. We're going to find both pose in Avasana. So we're going to do a little bit of core work here. We're going to start to wake up the core, build some heat. So if you want, you can keep your heels on the ground. You can keep the toes on the ground, or the hands can come behind your legs. So wherever you are today, you can tabletop. Now wake up your toes. Make sure that you're either flexing or pointing your toes. Whatever you're doing, make sure the hip flexors are not tensing up here. Now lift through the sternum, breathe here. Inhale, reach your arms up if you can. Exhale, press the palms down, just about knee height. Inhale, reach. Exhale, slowly bring the arms parallel to the floor. Two more, breathe in. And breathe out. Nice, last one, inhale. Exhale, hold it here, one more breath. And release your heels to the floor, good. Lengthen through the spine one more time, take an inhale. Lean back a little bit, but keep puffing through that chest. Now take the hands to the heart center. We're gonna do a few twists here. So twist to your right, Inhale to center and to the left. Do 2 more on each side. Inhale, exhale. Keep that spine long. Keep the breath going. Find the tension on your belly. Good. Final one. Good. Come back to center here. Reach up. Think as if you're climbing a rope here. So you're going to reach to the left with your right hand and to the right with your left hand. Good. But keep leaning back here. Make sure you're not sitting upright all the way. Reach, reach, slow. So really feel that belly engaging. Feel that oblique. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Rest your feet on the ground. Hug your shins. Sit nice and tall here. Lengthen through the spine. One more breath in, breath out. All right, we're gonna come into a tabletop. If you want, move a couple times through a cat and cow here just to reset the spine. As you did that core work, notice if you put tension in your low back. Maybe you even sway the hips from side to side. Opening that side body a little bit. All right, so since today it's from head to toe, focusing hips, hamstring, the core, the upper back. Keep your sits bones in line with your knees. You're gonna walk the hands forward, shoulder width apart or a little bit wider. Take a big breath in. Exhale, allow your chest to release to the floor, puppy pose. Now rest your forehead on the floor or a block. Keep those sits bones nice and high and allow your chest to relax here. Breathe into the upper back, into the armpits. Spread your fingers, tone your arms. One more breath. Take your forearms to the ground, slide to your belly, coming to a Sphinx pose. We're gonna take a gentle back bend here, friends. Stack the shoulders over the elbows. Good. Now press your forearms. Shift your gaze to the right. Breathe into the neck, the shoulder. Come back to center. And switch to the left. Keep pressing your feet down on the floor, back to center. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Make sure you're not sinking into the shoulders. Press through your forearms. And slowly release. Tuck your toes, press up and back. Downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Bend your right knee deeply. Let your left heel release down to the floor. So stay here for one more breath cycle. And then switch. Now bend your left knee deeply. Let your right heel release down towards the floor. You're gonna feel a nice stretch into the back of your leg. Now again, bringing awareness to the foundation, to your hands, right? As you press your palms and tone your arms, relax the shoulders, and slowly release. Now start to cross your right foot over the left, and then the left over the right, just walking towards the top of your mat. Bring your feet to hip width apart. Once you get there, take your time. Press your hands on your shins. Lift with a flat back. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Pull the belly in, relax your toes. Exhale to fold. Final one. Inhale, lengthen, create space. Exhale to bow. Bend your knees, roll the spine to a stand. So slow here. The head comes up last. Shrug the shoulders towards your ears. Take a big breath in. Exhale, release everything. Ha. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, release. Ha. Good. We're going to move through some sun salutations here. We're going to move through sun A and B, just to get the body ready here for us to be able to hold the poses. So inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, with the flat back, slowly fold. Take an inhale, lengthen, create space, hands to shins or fingers to the floor. Step back to your plank. Take an inhale with the top of your push-up, roll to the toe tips. Lower down. Knees can always come down first. Inhale, loop the shoulders back and down. Cobra pose. Doesn't have to be a big movement here. Can be a tiny baby cobra. Press up and back. Downward facing dog. Ground yourself as you come to downward dog. Find stillness. This is always an opportunity for you to reconnect to your breath, to your intention, to whatever brought you to your mat today. Bend your knees, look forward, travel to the top of your mat, whether you want to step, walk, jump. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Press through your feet to rise. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, right back to fold, hands down to the floor. Inhale, lengthen, create space. Exhale, step back. Notice if you keep stepping the same foot back if you're stepping. If you're jumping, that's totally fine. Move through your flow. Choose your back bend, whether you want to take cobra, sphinx, or downward dog, upward dog. Sun salutations are meant to help us to warm up the body, right? And to start that connection of breath to movement. Inhale, look forward, travel to the top of your mat. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, fold. Inhale to rise, final one. Follow your breath, find your rhythm. Think of yoga, right? It's meditation in motion. So every movement, every pose matters. Lower down, slowly hug the elbows in. Loop the shoulders back and down. Pull that belly in as you take your back bend. As you exhale, press up and back to downward facing dog. So it doesn't matter how familiar you are with poses, right? Just notice if you tend to hit the autopilot button when you step on your mat. How mindful are you of your transitions, of your breath? Notice the patterns. Bend your knees, look forward. Hop to the top of your mat. Inhale. Exhale, bow. Sit low, chair pose, Utkatasana. Yogi's choice, whether you want to bring your feet to touch or feet hip width apart. Just make sure if your feet are hip width apart, your knees are not touching. They are in line with your hips. Relax through the shoulders, lengthen your tailbone, shift the weight towards your heels, pull that belly in. One more breath, sit an inch lower. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, create space. Exhale, plant your hands. Step or jump, move like you. If you want to skip your vinyasa, you can. We meet in downward dog. Inhale, braid your right leg high. Step your right foot forward. Plant your left heel, rise warrior one. So find your pose. Allow yourself to fully arrive into the shape. So again, grounding through that right heel. Plant that left heel on the floor, square off the hips. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands. Use the same exhale to lower down, you guys. As you inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, downward dog. Bring your left leg high. Step your left foot forward. Right heel comes down. Rise, warrior one. So the alignment gives us stability, right? It allows us to find stillness as we connect to the breath and stay present. Allows us to explore what's happening in the body, in mind. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, frame your left foot, step back, plank. Keep exhaling, lower down. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Continue to cultivate the awareness. A little goes a long way. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump. Breathe in, flat back, breathe out, bow. Sit low, chair pose. Hands to the heart, press through your feet to rise, Samastitihi. Just one more Sambi. I'm gonna cue you through the right side and then on the left side. See if you can just follow your breath and move like you. Sit low, chair pose. Breathe in. Breathe out, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, a step or jump. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Press up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg, step your right foot forward. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, frame your foot, step back, plank. You can float or skip. Back bend of your choice. Downward dog. You're gonna breathe into the left side, raise your left leg. Plant your right heel, rise, warrior one. Exhale, frame your foot. Take your vinyasa or skip. When meet in downward dog. 3 breaths here. One more time. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Come to the top of your mat. Breathe in, lengthen, flat back. Breathe out to fold. Sit low, chair pose. Hands to the heart. Press through your feet. Come to rise. Lace the fingers behind your back. Loop the shoulders back and down. Keep your feet at least hip width apart here. Puff the chest, create space, and then fold. You can bend your knees generously here if you want to rest your torso on your leg. Now start to rinse your knuckles away from your spine. Move the head yes and no. Open and close your mouth. As you feel more comfortable in this shape, maybe start to straighten the legs a little bit more. So you're getting a nice stretch into the back of the legs, and at the same time you're opening the shoulders, the upper back. Let's take a big breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Release your hands to the floor. You're going to open your feet a little bit wider than the hips. Now you're gonna sit nice and low. So bring the legs parallel to the floor. You're gonna reach your arms in front of you. So your biceps are by your ears. So it's a variation of chair pose. We call this bear pose. Wake up your arms, brighten the fingers. Enliven the pose, friends. The weight is still on your heels. This is challenging. This is working our foundation.
One more breath, pull the belly in, find your edge here. And then slowly release, fold. Bring the feet to hip width. You're going to step your left foot back. Find the warrior one once again, rise. Good, wake up the back leg. The left heel is pressing down on the floor, square off the hips. Lace the fingers once again. You can grab a towel or a strap. Peel the chest open and fold, humble warrior. If you can, bring the shoulder inside your leg, but you're not twisting. The chest is still facing the floor. Otherwise, just rest the shoulder on your leg. Now, I want you to relax your neck and focus on your feet pressing down and on your legs. Take one more breath here. You're going to keep your bind. You're going to start to straighten your front leg. You can hop the left foot forward just a couple inches. Keep those hips squared and fold for pyramid pose. If it's too intense on your shoulders, release your hands to the floor or grab your elbows with the opposite hands behind your back. One more. Press through your feet, flat back, inhale, slowly rise. Take your hands to your hips. You're gonna pivot your right foot so your feet are parallel to each other. Heels is slightly out, toes is slightly in. So turn your toes towards the long side of your mat. Good, take an inhale, lengthen, puff your chest. Exhale, hinge at the hips and start to fold. Walk your hands in front of you like you're gonna go into a downward dog. Press your palms on the floor, blocks, or just stay on the fingertips if that's what's available to you. Now take a big breath in. Exhale, let your chest release towards the floor and start to press your sits bones back. So think as if you're lifting the toes off the ground and you're just balancing on your heels. You don't have to do that. But that's the intention of pressing the sits bones back. Find a nice stretch into the legs, hips, the spine. Notice where you can soften, what you can release here. As you start to soften the edges of the breath a little bit more. Walk the hands back. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, walk your hands towards your right foot. Find a lunge here. Stay on the ball of your back foot. We're going to take a twist. Raise your right arm to the sky. Peel the chest open. Slowly release. Step back to plank. You know what to do. Move like you. Flow or not. Cobra or upward dog. We all meet in downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward, travel to the top of your mat. Breathe in to lengthen. Breathe out to fold. Stack your feet wider than the hips. We're gonna go back to that bear pose. So sit low, raise your arms. If keeping the arms straight is too much, you can cactus your arms here. But I want you to really sit low. Bring that torso parallel to the floor. Press your sits bones back. Maybe lift your toes off the ground so you know for sure the weight is on your heels. Meet the pose. One more breath. If you can, sit an inch lower. And then fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow. You're going to step your right foot back, coming to the warrior one. So this shape is familiar. Meet the pose where you left off the last time. Place the fingers behind your back. Take an inhale, create space. Exhale, fold. Humble warrior. Use the breath. The breath will help you to stay present in your body. Notice your feet pressing on the earth, the legs engaging, any tingling sensations. Keep your bind, slowly start to straighten your front leg if you need to adjust your stance. Please do so, square off the hips, and then fold for that pyramid pose. Allow the legs to soften to create space, but at the same time you're keeping the integrity of the pose by engaging the muscles. But allow the legs to release tension, tightness, resistance. Press through your feet with the flat back, slowly come all the way up. You're gonna turn all 10 toes to the long side of your mat. I'm just gonna turn this way so I'm facing you. Breathe in and breathe out, slowly fold. So make sure your feet are on the same line here. This time, we're gonna turn the hands the other way around, friends. So turn the fingertips to face the wall behind you and walk the hands away from you. So the crown of your head is reaching towards the floor. The weight this time is shifting towards your tippy toes. Take 2 more mindful breaths here. Remember, each pose has its own breath. Final one, breathe in. Stay for your exhale. Walk the hands forward. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, walk your hands to frame your left foot. Pause. Keep your right hand on the ground. Raise your left arm. Take a twist. Slowly release. Step back to plank. Inhale. Exhale. Move through your flow. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Press up and back, downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here. If you need child's pose, it's always available to you. One more breath. Bend your knees, look forward, travel to the top of your mat. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, fold. Inhale to rise, palms touch, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands draw to the heart center. Bring your feet to touch this time. We're gonna go into chair pose. So I want you to bring your fingertips to the floor. So make sure you can sit nice and low. Good. Yes, relax your toes. Now take the hands to the heart center. You always have the option to just open twist if you want. Take a breath in. Exhale, you're gonna hook your right elbow outside your left leg. Press through the palms and twist. Now as you twist to your left, make sure that right knee is not poking forward. Keep your hips square. If you want to open the wings, you can extend your arms, keeping that right hand outside your left foot. Nice. Yes, breathe here. Back to center. Inhale. Exhale, twist to your right. If your palms are at the heart center, press your hands so much. Try to get your thumbs towards the sternum. Come back to center and fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, step your right foot back. Inhale, rise, warrior one. All right, so this time, we've done already shoulder work. The shoulder should be fairly warm and a little bit more open now. So I want you to take your right hand behind the nape of your neck here. So your right elbow is facing the sky. Your left hand comes behind your back and your fingertips may or may not touch. If they don't, take your right hand to the left elbow. No, left hand to the right elbow. Sit an inch lower here. Keep pressing the back of your head into your forearm. One more breath in. Now straighten your right leg. Keep the hips square. Take a breath in. Exhale, slowly fold. Keeping that bind. If you have that strap or towel, that's a great way to modify here. One more breath in. Stay for the exhale. Press through your feet, tone the belly, and slowly come all the way up. You can relax your arms. Turn your right foot in so all 10 toes are facing the long side of your sticky mat. Turn your heels in, your toes slightly out. Take a breath in. Exhale, sit low for horse pose or goddess pose. Good, take your hands to your legs. Your thumbs are facing forward. All 4 fingers are turning out. Take a breath in. Exhale, take your left shoulder down. You can even extend your right leg if you want. Just play with this variation, see what it feels like. Come back to center, sit an inch lower. Take your right shoulder down this time. Keep pressing those knees out towards your pinky toe, friends. Maybe you extend your left leg. Come back to center, sit an inch lower. Inhale, reach up, extend your arms and your legs, star pose. Now turn your big toes in, heels slightly out, hands to your hips, inhale. Exhale, flat back, slowly fold. Option to grab your elbows with opposite hands. Maybe just sway a little bit from side to side. You can bend one knee, then the other. Just a couple more breaths here. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the mouth. Release your hands to the floor. Inhale, lengthen with the flat back. Exhale, walk your hands towards your right foot. Let's take that twist first. Raise your right arm to the sky. And slowly frame your foot, step back to your plank. You know what to do, move like you, or just press back to downward dog. Breathe in, breathe out, ground yourself. Raise your left leg, step your left foot forward, plank your right heel, inhale, rise, warrior one. This time your left hand comes behind the back, right hand reach for the left fingertips. Again, if this bind is not available to you right now, your right hand comes towards your left elbow, or you grab a towel or even your shirt. Find sensation through the hips. Draw the belly in. Knit your ribs together. Make sure they are not splaying out. Keep your bind straight in your front leg. Adjust your stance if you need. Take an inhale. Exhale with the flat back, slowly fold. Notice as your left foot presses down, any movement through the leg, ankle, trying to find the stability here. So be aware of the shape of the breath. Final one, inhale. Stay for the exhale. Press through your feet to slowly rise. Relax your arms. You're gonna turn all 10 toes to the long side of your mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hold it here. Heels turn in. Toes slightly out. Take an inhale. Sweep your arms up. Exhale. Sit low. Horse pose. Goddess pose. Good. Now make sure you're not folding. Keep the chest open. Shoulders over the hips. And that tailbone is reaching down towards the floor. Maybe move here a little bit. Side to side. Up and down. Get a little deeper. Yeah. Good. Now lift your left heel. Sit an inch lower. And switch. Raise the other heel. Sit an inch lower. Good. Now lift both heels and sit low. Tone the belly. Let it shake. Let it burn. Bring the heels down. Good. And then reach up. Star pose. Hands to your hips. Turn the big toes in. Heels is slightly out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Slowly fold. Any arm variation that best serves you here. You can grab elbows with opposite hands. You can lace the fingers behind your head. You can move from side to side. And yoga is about being curious about the breath, the body. And then take another inhale, lengthen, exhale, walk your hands towards your left foot. Keep your right hand on the floor, raise your left arm to the sky. Slowly frame your left foot. You can flow or just press back to a downward dog. Bend your knees, look forward. You're going to hop your feet outside your hands, come into a squat. So if your heels you have a hard time putting your heels on the floor, it's nice sometimes to roll a towel or blanket, and you can just take your heels there. Press your elbows or forearms into the legs into the forearms, lengthen through the spine. Good, breathe here. Maybe even close your eyes for a moment so you can just go inside. Tune in a little bit more. The word yoga basically just translates to union, right? So it's the union of mind, body, breath, spirit. Because there's no separation. All right, you can stay here and hang out, or you can fly and play with crow pose, Bakasana. So for for those of you that already have crow, feel free to play with variations as well. You can play with bringing the crown of the head to the floor, going in tripod, or if you've been playing on shooting back, kicking those feet into that chaturanga. I like to start with my feet touching, coming to the balls of my feet. Take my knees as high as I can into the armpits or triceps. My hands are about shoulder width, not very wide, and try not to get the hands too close, friends. Now, spread those fingers nice and wide. Lift your gaze. Remember, the body's gonna follow where your gaze go. Maybe you take one or both feet off the floor. See if you can bring the big toes to touch and lift your feet as high as you can. Breathe here for 2 more. It's not very easy to cue crow and talk at the same time. Hold and balance. There's a lot going on, right? But be present. Maybe kick back, or maybe just press back to downward dog. Also remind yourself that it's okay if your balance is not there today. You can take a child's pose. Bring your forehead to the floor or a block. All right, we're gonna find dolphin pose. So bring your forearms to the floor. Make sure you can wrap your fingers outside your triceps. That's how wide you want your elbows to be. We're gonna stay with dolphin. A little bit more advanced will be to raise one leg, hold 2 to 3 breaths, and then switch. Try to keep your hips squared. The other option is to balance on your forearms, playing with pincha. So it's a little bit more, if you want to turn this into a balancing pose, you can as well. So press your forearms. If you want to lace the fingers and make a fist, you can also do that. That's a variation. I just want you to focus on relaxing your neck here and gaze towards your toes. Bring the shoulders over your elbows, walk your feet forward. So the hamstrings should be fairly warm. If you need to bend your knees, do that. And again, you can raise one leg, keep your hips squared. Press through the forearms, draw the belly in. So a lot of core activation and working the upper body strength, shoulders. And switch. Keep breathing. Relax your jaw and your neck. And release. Thank yourself for your efforts. Find stillness for a moment. Be okay with just letting go. Just surrender. All right, it's time to bring everything down, to integrate, coming down to the ground. We're going to work with fire log pose, so it's a little bit more of a hip work here and also low back release. I like to sit on the edge of a blanket or even a block. If that's not available to you, you always can roll a little bit your mat and create a little extra padding here. All right, we're going to keep the left shin on the bottom and then stack the right shin on top. Yeah,
So make sure you're not crossing the legs. It's literally stacking the shin so that bottom shin goes forward and it's parallel to the short side of your mat. Yeah, flex your toes. If bringing your ankle on top of your knee is too much, slide your foot towards the shin a little bit more. So you should feel this in your outer hips, in your low back. Maybe this is where you stay today. Otherwise, you can start to walk the hands forward. This is already quite intense for me, so this is as far as I go today. And it's all good. Keep energy, lots of energy through the feet as you curl the toes. Try to relax the shoulders a bit more, the neck. Take 2 more mindful breaths here, friends. If you're folding, slowly start to walk the hands. All right, you're going to extend the bottom leg, so your left leg is extended, and I'll just cross your right leg over. So you have roughly ankle to knee alignment here. Flex your toes. You're gonna take your right hand behind your back, raise your left arm to the sky, breathe in, exhale, hook your elbow into the leg. Gaze past that back shoulder. If you want to work towards the bind, your left hand is going to come through that little hole in between the legs, and the other hand reaches back. The fingers may or may not touch. Keep pressing your right big toe on the floor and flex your left foot. Your left toes curl. One more breath, twist a little more. And release. Take a counter twist here. And slowly release. So now your right shin is at the bottom, left shin on top. So stack them, flex the toes. Maybe you stay here, otherwise you can slowly start to walk the hands forward. That's gonna give you a little bit more sensation here into the hips. Start to go in a little bit more as you find that peaceful, quiet space within yourself. And then mindfully start to walk the hands back. Extend your right leg, cross your left leg over. Flex your toes, sit tall. Left hand behind your back, raise your right arm, lengthen the spine, exhale, twist, hook your elbow. Again, you can work towards bringing that hand in between the legs. Right hand reaches back. Working towards binding here. Just don't compromise the integrity of the pose and the quality of the breath. Draw the navel in. So as you twist, you are contracting your abdominal muscles here. Compressing the organs, giving them a little massage. And slowly release. Take that counter twist. And release. We're just going to take a little reverse tabletop here. So 2 options. Knees can be bent. If you want a more advanced, the legs are going to be straight, but the sole of your feet pressed down on the ground.
The fingers are pointing towards you. Inhale, lift. Press those hips up. See if you can get your hips in line with the knees. Maybe you extend your legs in front of you, but press those toes down on the ground. Keep lifting, press through the palms. One more breath in. Exhale, slowly release. Bring your sits bones down. Extend your legs in front of you. Rock your hips back. Feet can be hip width or touching. Inhale, sweep the arms. Let your heart lead the way and fold for Paschimottanasana. Bend your knees as much as you need here. Think of less rounding of your spine and more lengthening. So you can even inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold a little more. So use your breath. And slowly release. Come down to your back. We're gonna take one bridge pose here before we go into that final relaxation. So walk the heels in, or if you wanna go right away into full wheel or Urdhva if you're craving that deep back bend, please do so. Whatever you choose, we're doing 3 to 5 breaths. Press your feet, lift your hips. Maybe walk the shoulders in. Try to keep your neck nice and neutral. If you can, if you're taking bridge, lace the fingers behind your back. Press your hands down on the ground and then reach your knuckles towards your heels. Notice if the knees wants to splay out to the sides. Try to keep your knees in line with the hips. Puff the chest. If you're taking full wheel, shift the weight towards the hands, press the chest. One more, friends. Lift a little higher. And slowly release your upper back, mid back, hips down to the floor, windshield wipe your legs. Any final pose here that your body may be asking for. You can do happy baby, another twist, or you may just hug your knees in for a little bit. Grab your elbows with opposite hands. Relax into the low back, shoulders. Whenever you're ready, draw your forehead towards your knees. Say something kind to yourself. And then find Shavasana. Extend your legs, extend your arms, and stay here. Give yourself permission to just receive the gifts of yoga. As you find Shavasana, allow your feet to relax. Relax your toes, your ankles, let your shins get heavy. Soften your knees. Relax your quads. Soften your belly. Allow the chest, shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers to feel heavy. Relax your neck, your face, soften your lips. Allow the eyes to float. Remember that all is well. Start to deepen your breath, your awareness. Breathe life back into fingers and toes.
Find a seated position. Just take a moment to thank yourself for showing up, to stepping on your mat, to create a little bit more space in your mind and your physical body. From my heart to yours, namaste.